Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Game on Cloud 9 here, and today I'm here to bring you guys a new Naruto manga 665 prediction. Can the situation right now in the Naruto manga for the Shinobi Alliance get any more dire than it is right now? I mean, I didn't review last week's chapter of Naruto, but of course I read it. I read it as soon as it came out, and all I have to say is, I mean, we know Madara is like the Sage of Six Paths right now. I mean, if he already wasn't OP, he had, the Renegon already. With one eye, he basically raped everybody on the battlefield. There's nothing they could do about it. And then on top of that, now he has a more complete Jubi. And, Gar, he had this plan with the Nine Tails, or I should say the Nine Tails basically came up with the plan, the Yang half of it. Basically saying, okay, you know, I want you to go ahead and seal the Yin half inside of Naruto that'll be able to save him. And then this week it just seems like everything just gets put to a stop, and not to mention the part with Sasuke. But before I jump into everything dealing with that and all of my thoughts, let's summarize the chapter as we always do. Now, of course, the beginning of it, we see, the foot where the previous chapter left off, and the mystery person. Who is that? Everybody's wondering. I can tell Kishimoto probably wants to play, a little bit, few more mysteries into the story, before it ends. Obviously like he did with Obito. Just a few more. I don't know why Kishimoto doesn't just write a mystery series. Maybe after this he should, because you had the whole mystery with Obito. You have the Spiral Zetsu right now that we don't know who's in there. You have this mystery person that he's probably going to carry on for a few chapters where you just see their foot. Now everyone was thinking, when I was looking at different things people were saying on forums and reviews, even of different reviewers, that it's gonna be Kabuto, and I thought the same thing actually. I was okay, after hearing everyone else's side, I'm like, that makes a lot of sense. It could be Kabuto, but then as the chapter progressed, we see Tobirama didn't know who the heck that was. And then, as Karin and Orochimaru are running towards that person, Karin's picking up on the person's chakra, we find out that apparently it's no one she recognizes. And she should have recognized Kabuto, one, because they were all basically part of the same group. I mean, they were all Orochimaru's little cronies. So it wouldn't make any sense to me for her not to at least, recognize it somewhat, or be like, it's a little bit familiar or something like that. She didn't recognize it at all. And the fact that she sensed, ill intentions with it seems even worse. So you already know something crazy may happen with whoever this mystery person is. Who could it be? Some people may say Yamato. I think Yamato's probably inside of the Spiral Zetsu. That's probably I think the better case. Maybe he's being controlled, or maybe he may have just been bad all this entire time. Who knows? But as far as who's that barefoot that we saw that's over there by Sasuke, I can't even begin to think of who it could be, because I mean everybody, all the major characters were already on the battlefield as we know it, unless Kishimoto is getting ready to introduce a new character, which would be a little bit weird for him to do at this point, considering the fact that we're at the final phase of the story. I mean, after Madara's done, the only thing that I can see happening, of course, is Naruto versus Sasuke. So for him to introduce a character just for them to be killed off just like that or something, or not to really play much of a role, will be a bit weird. So I don't know who that could actually be. Obviously Orochimaru's around. He's been revived since like 60, 70, 80 chapters ago. So it's not like we can pull a theory that it's him. So I don't know. I mean, it could be Edo Tensei. I've seen some other reviewers say that maybe another Edo Tensei actually stuck around, or happened to survive somehow, just like Madara, and maybe they're getting ready to do something. And even Orochimaru is starting to question himself now, like, maybe this is the end for Sasuke's wins. Now, obviously, it's not going to be the end for Sasuke, but I am really excited, and probably slightly more excited to see who this mystery person is than what's going on right now with Naruto. Although I'm still excited to see what's going on with him. Now, the next part of the chapter, we get Guy. And, he makes an appearance, and as soon as I saw Guy, I'm like, 8 gates. Come on. 8 gates. Come on, say it with me now. 8 gates. Let's do it. I want you to call them all off. Go through each one, open up that 8th gate. Let's see what it is. Basically, this is, closing up the story, and Kishimoto's tying all the things up, and we're seeing all these different moves. I want to see the 8 gates. That's been hyped up since the beginning of the series. So let me see the 8th gate. There's no better time, guy. The situation, I said this before, with Obito that the situation couldn't get any worse than it already was. But I'm like, now that we have Uchiha Madara with the Ten Tails, this really can't get any worse than the situation really can't get any worse than it already was before that. So I'm like, you have basically the Sage of Six Paths running around. I think the conditions have been met in order for you to feel like you need to use the gates, to protect someone important to you, unless you care nothing about anybody on this battlefield. But anyway, I'm kind of rambling a little bit with that. So we have a little bit of comedical relief with them, and Madara spits out the Sage of Six Paths ninja tools, and we see it's the sealing pot, and it's the gourd that Kinkaku and Genkaku use in order to seal like souls of people whenever they like speak, and you all know basically Kinkaku and Genkaku's scheme. So we can already probably infer that that's going to be used in some way to beat Madara. Why is that? Because then it drops on Guy and Lee, and then right before they're talking about they want to help, or at least Guy's talking about how he still wants to help Kakashi, or he can infer that when they saw Gaara and Sakura go that way, that obviously that Kakashi needs help, and they just got those items. And Tenten, we all know, is like a weapons master, so maybe she'll actually get a shine, which would be surprising since considering the fact that Tenten just seems like she's fodder with a name half the time. But after that scene, I know that's when we got a little bit of a flashback with Minato in this chapter, but I think right before that we got Minato and Kakashi. Of course, they're trying to take on Black Zetsu. Somehow he's been holding on off this entire time. I'm kind of curious how, if either Kakashi and Minato just have been avoiding trying to kill him because they don't want to kill Obito, or if they really been going all out. Because I'm like, Minato, you're the fourth Hokage. I mean, granted, Kakashi, okay, but I'm like, Minato, I mean, you're like one of the strongest, probably the second strongest Hokage. I mean, I know it's up for debate. Some people probably would say, some people may think Tobirama is. I think Minato is stronger than Tobirama personally, but I don't know. I mean, I'm like, he's still a Hokage, and we all know the Hokages are pretty darn OP. So I expected Black Zetsu to be having a little bit more of a struggle than what he is. They seem a little bit more worn out than he is, and Minato is dead with unlimited chakra. So he's like immortal. So it's a little bit weird. Um, After that, I know then that's when we got a little bit of a flashback, which I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I didn't care much for the flashback. I didn't really feel as though it really was needed that much because we've already gotten touching scenes with Naruto and his family. Heck, we even had an entire movie about that, Road to Ninja. Check it out if you've never seen it. So for them to dedicate, even if it was like a couple pages, to dedicate, a couple pages just to talking about, like Naruto's birth and, how they could tell he was a boy and all that other stuff. It's just like, okay, I understand, I mean, I feel like that could have been summarized to a couple words Minato could have said, Although it may actually have to do with Kishimoto losing his father recently, which, maybe why he wanted to, I don't know, I guess, have like a father and son moment right there, because obviously Gara told Minato that he needs to seal the other half of the Nine Tails into him, and of course he sees his son laying right there, pretty much about to die, So then he's thinking about the fact that he has to protect him and all that. So I guess he was just trying to create a father and son moment, maybe thinking about his own father, So I mean, I guess I'm like, I know. I'm gonna have to say, I kind of agree with for Neverworld. I just watched his review not too long ago. That you have to kind of respect that. As far as Kishimoto's, if that's the reason why he actually did that. I'm like, I mean, I don't really feel like it needed to be there because there's been plenty of those moments in the story, but I don't know, let it be. Now, the part that shocked me is when you saw Black Zetsu actually absorb the Nine Tails. Like right before Minato was getting ready to place the yin half inside of Naruto, that's when Black Zetsu appeared and absorbed it. And he basically became the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails, and then went back to Obito, went back to Obito. And then that's when Madara shows up and basically is like your late Black Zetsu. And we see him holding the black staff of the Sage Six Paths. He showed up right in front of him, and that's pretty much the end of the chapter. Now, what I honestly think about everything, I mean, I've kind of given my thoughts periodically throughout this review slash prediction, but I don't know. I mean, this chapter, I don't think it was as good as last week's chapter. I think it was a decent chapter. I feel like the pacing of it was all right. I mean, I don't know, like the beginning of it, I mean, it focused on a few different points. The cliffhanger was, okay. It wasn't anything to call home about. It's not like I hated this chapter or anything like that. I definitely felt like it, did its job, but it seemed more or less felt more like build up, making the situation even worse because Naruto and Sasuke are still unconscious. So not really a lot has happened or not has changed. But I'm really, really, really intrigued and kind of wondering how they'll be able to overcome this situation because Naruto, we know he has Sage Mode, but even if he wakes up, even if they gave him somehow the Alliance put together the last bits of Naruto's chakra they had and put it inside of Naruto, and he was able to pull through and wake up, and even if Sasuke woke up with the Rinnegan, it's like Madara has the Rinnegan, he has Sage Mode, because don't forget he did absorb that from Hashirama. He has the Ten Tails, which by itself was enough to overwhelm the Alliance. Plus, this is a more complete Ten Tails. He's a Jinchuriki, so then all that power is focused together. And then it's Madara Uchiha, who can beat people without eyes, perfect Susanoo and all. So it's just like, you guys couldn't beat him, even in his weakened state. So even if you wake up, even if they did attack, Naruto and Sasuke got up and did a tag team combo, one, Naruto will be a lot weaker than he would be before. Sage Mode is very powerful, but against Madara Uchiha, it's not going to be enough. I mean, even Biju Sage Mode wasn't enough. So it's like, okay, you're going to need to be packing a lot more power. And I'm still going to go ahead and say I think that it's going to come down to that fruit falling from that tree. They're still by that tree. I mean, to me, that's like the glimmer of hope that they're going to have. I mean, I do still think Sasuke's going to get the Rinnegan, but what else could happen? You get what I'm trying to say? Like, I mean, he doesn't have any halves of the Nine Tails, so you can't even say, oh, he'll use the Nine Tails chakra to somehow link up with the rest of the Tail Beast chakra inside of Madara and pull it out or something. It's like, no, unless he unlocks some innate Uzumaki ability. Maybe he unlocks the chains that his mother had or something, and maybe somehow he's able to latch onto the Jubi chakra that way and pull it out. But even then, I mean, it's Madara Uchiha. You see, I really can't even come up with a great prediction for you guys because I don't even have the slightest clue of where this is going to go. All I know is that I don't think next week. I think maybe next week they'll probably wake up towards the end, or maybe we'll start to see, an incline in Naruto and Sasuke pulling through. And if that's not the case, I'm gonna have to say I think Sakura, she probably is gonna die. Like, I think she's gonna use Chiyo's technique. Reason for that because I feel like Chiyo, since she was a medical ninja, she was a medical ninja slash puppet person. I mean, she's more widely known for her puppets, but she also did know medical ninjutsu. And I mean, Sakura, she's having, I guess, a lot of push right now. I mean, she's even said in the last week's chapter, no matter what the cost is, she'll save Naruto, and that would definitely be a pretty big death on the table. And I feel like, in a sense, would also, you know, um, strike Naruto and Sasuke very emotionally if their teammate had died, in the war, right when they fight, that's probably going to be something that comes up. So I feel like, and it would do something with her character too, since everyone, talks about how useless she is. I mean, hey, you couldn't call her useless no more. She saved the life of the main character. But yeah, I guess that would be the one thing that she would even be able to surpass Tsunade on, is if she somehow used Chiyo's technique, and if maybe she uses it a little bit and gives some of her life to Naruto, and that's enough to bring him back from the brink of death. The reason why I say that is because Chiyo did that a few times on Sakura, so that is possible that she could do that, or she could use it and just give her entire life altogether. So that's a so that's something I guess we can look out for. I definitely expect to see, which I'm not the only one who's predicted that. I mean, plenty of other reviewers have stated that themselves. But I actually thought that a long time ago. But I mean, yeah, that's the only thing I see could happen, guys. Is Sakura maybe gives up her life, and even then, that's still not enough. So maybe the fruit drops from the tree, the fruit that the Sage Six Paths mother had. Naruto either splits it up with Sasuke, and they both eat it, or he eats it himself and gets some massive power boost. Maybe Guy uses the eight gates, which, by the way, I mean, I'm still going to hold out. Let's just say I think he may use the eight gates. Maybe it's time. They are going over to that battle. Maybe he'll have to distract Madara. If he doesn't use it even now, I mean, all hope is lost. I mean, I said that multiple times back in when they were fighting Obito, but I think all hope will be lost then. But these are my thoughts on this week's Naruto chapter. I talked a lot about it, but I guess that was basically because I was trying to also speak a little bit about last week's chapter of Naruto that I didn't talk about. But let me know what you guys think about this chapter. Did you enjoy it for one? What rating would you get? And by the way, I didn't even give the rating. The rating for this week's chapter of Naruto to me is Chunin Level. It was pretty much average. It wasn't anything that I thought was just amazing. I mean, the one thing to me that was really relevant in the chapter had to do with sealing the yin half of the Nine Tails into Black Zetsu and Madara getting the other half, basically making him even more ridiculous. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to the next chapter of Naruto quite a bit. I'm really excited for it, and I'm definitely can't wait to see what power-ups Naruto and Sasuke get. So let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section below. Please share the video around with other people, your family, friends, whoever, likes Naruto, and that's it. So I'll see you later.